Sister wants to walk down the aisle at my wedding. We use that to our advantage. Here I am, writing this long tale in my honeymoon, but it does feel cathartic to finally type it out, and my husband is more excited about this than the resort drinks, lol. Anyway, this is a throwaway because I do not have a Reddit account, and my husband, the Reddit fanatic, said he does not want this associated with his main. As to why the Reddit guy is not the one writing this, it is because he said since it is my family, I should be the one with the honor of posting the story, but he is looking over my shoulder to help out. I am not a lawyer, so I do not know if this works, but I do not give permission for this to be reposted anywhere else. So, I think first it is necessary to give some background, to explain how this behavior reached this level, and why our responses were as they were. It is a long read, I apologize. So, ever since I could remember, my parents loved my sister more. I do not mean in subtle ways either. If my sister accused me of something, they would believe it and punish me. If I accused her, they would not believe. Even if there was undeniable proof, they would still give her a lesser punishment and try to find a way to scold me in tandem. My birthday cake had to be a flavor she wanted, hers did not, and my parents always denied, knowing I did not like that type of cake. They always bought her a bit more than for me. We went to where she wanted, even if it was an event that should be about me. My sister grew up spoiled and did not like me, just used me as a punching bag, but at first she mostly ignored. But then it got really bad when we were young teens. I am not sure what the cause and effect are, but she found herself with no friends and her behavior got worse. Did her friends move? Did they ditch her because she was mean? I do not know, because we were never close, and my parents loved to boast about her achievements, but never ever mentioned any issues, whereas with me, they loved to bring out any flaws of mine constantly as teasing material. I only knew she had none because we went to the same school, and I noticed her no longer walking around with people. Anyway, she had no friends. I did. I used to be decently popular. My sister realized that, and suddenly I stopped being the occasional punching bag to a hated person she needed to take down at all times. She started accusing me of more stuff. She accused my friends of more stuff. My parents stopped allowing me to hang out with anyone, the excuses ranging from they are not good people according to your sister to why are you trying to leave us? Why can't you be like your sister and enjoy family time? What saved me from complete isolation was extended family. Most of my family lived in the same hometown, and I got along with my cousins despite some age difference. At one gathering, they invited me over to something I do not remember what, and I sadly replied I am not allowed to go anywhere. When asked why, my kid self with no filter replied that it was because I was not allowed to have friends since my sister did not have any. Well, that reached the adults, who apparently tore my parents apart. Later I was scolded for lying and grounded as if I had anywhere to go for a month. But after that they allowed me some leeway, so it was worth it, and my sister changed schools. I guess the humiliation of extended family knowing her social status was bad, and she demanded to be changed. And my parents immediately obliged, even though it cost them more since the school was further away, but she made friends on the new school. However, she never went back to the previous status quo of mostly ignoring me. I guess having felt the power of how badly she could screw with me, and anger that I told family she had no friends, she never let me go. My life was still bad. Her friends would come over and bully me, and my parents called it light teasing. I never called friends over because my parents were awful hosts to them, or my sister would accuse them of taking stuff, and they would believe it. I did become close to my cousins though, since my parents never dared do any of that to family. And then I got my first boyfriend. I did not want to bring him home at all, but my parents insisted. Well, at one point we were separated, and he came to find me to tell me my sister was flirting with him. By which he meant she came over with skimpy clothing, batting her eyelashes really badly, and started telling him how bad I was and how good she was. He was irked and ran off to find me, of course. My sister told my parents a different tale, that my BF had instead tried to flirt with her, but she naturally refused, since how could she do that to me? Guess who my parents believed now? My BF was not perfect, but I immediately believed him for a mean reason. But remember that back then I was a teen and suffering from the unfair bad treatment. I was very resentful and moody, and now hated my sister as much as she hated me. With that disclaimer out of the way, let us talk about looks. I had not mentioned them yet because they were not relevant. My parents were overweight. And since they liked showing love via food, giving you more food, buying treats, etc., my sister is also overweight, whereas I am not. In fact, I have always been kind of skinny because punishment often included no treats or snacks. Obviously, weight is not what matters, personality is, but my sister even then wasn't.